Travel Saturday with Sarah and Ed with Canadian Sky. Fly to the heart of the Canadian Rockies direct from Dublin to Calgary and experience spectacular scenery and vibrant cities. Discover Canada in 2024 with canadiansky.ie.
Well, I'm honoured to have these two in because they're on their way to the holiday show in the RDS. Ed Finn and Sarah Slattery, welcome in. You're going to tell us all about the travel that's going on today.
Yeah, great to see you again, Trina. Absolutely, very exciting. There's over 1,000 exhibitors out in Holiday World this weekend. They think the footfall will be about 50,000 people that'll go through it. It started yesterday, but really, really fabulous. So all the experts from all these wonderful countries are all here in lovely little Dublin to tell us all about their exciting destinations.
And Sarah, it's kicking off at 10 o'clock.
Yep, 10 till 5 today and tomorrow. And from someone who used to exhibit there a long, long time ago, there's 50 different countries represented. There's also loads, a lot of Irish holidays as well. So really, really good place to go for someone, I suppose, for someone who knows what they want. So if they want a specific thing, I found it very, very useful last year when I was researching my Greek islands. I spoke to people from the Greece Tourist Board, got them to recommend islands that maybe other people wouldn't necessarily know.
Yeah. And
that's where I found out about Milos, which was one of the highlights of our trip. So really good for that kind of thing. If you want to get down to the nitty gritty of a destination, talk to the tourist boards, you never have that opportunity again. But also good for people who don't know where they want to go and have a few hours to just wander around, talk to a few different stands, travel agents, tour operators, tourist boards from lots of different places, and just, maybe get some ideas that you might not have thought of before.
There must be countries you haven't even heard of.
We'll find out soon enough anyway. Silence there. What countries haven't we heard of? I don't know. I don't think there's any left, is there, Sarah?
Well, these two are all out of them. So is there value, Ed, to be found at these shows?
Yeah, I mean, there is, in fact. And they do a lot of discounts, and they do a lot of kind of giveaways, and they enter raffles and they give away little. So, you can get lovely little foods. They do food and wines and stuff. So it's kind of like tasting as well. The different culture, the different cuisines, I guess, from the different cultures. But what I love, for example, I'm planning a trip now for Croatia as well. I haven't been for a while.
Don't believe it. Planning a trip, not like you, Ed.
Trina, I'm telling you, right? And you know me in planning. But verylastminute.com. But yeah, I'm planning Croatia, and we have a new flight this year with Croatia. Airlines are flying direct to Split, and of course Ryanair fly to loads of the different destinations that are as well. Croatia Tours, they have their own flights as well that they do charters. They do loads of pilgrimages into Medjugorje, which is just across the border from Croatia, of course. But there's loads of options to do there. So I'm looking at Dubrovnik, and I want to do Split. And I went to a place a few years ago called Vodice, which is kind of like water in Croatia, but very good. Dubrovnik and places like that can be a little bit expensive, main sea, like Venice and stuff. But when you go outside Croatia and you go to these other beautiful places, absolutely great value as well. But it's stunning, as Sarah was saying there about islands earlier. Croatia has 1,000 islands. And another thing they do, I chat to them about Croatia Tours, they represent this company called Christina Cruises, and they have boats 32 to 38 people. You have your own private chef, and you go around the different islands and you jump into the crystal warm waters of the Adriatic. And you go back and then you have your gorgeous seafood lunch, and you can wear your armbands. You'll be grand.
I know, I might have to. Sarah, who else is going to be at the show?
As well, I should mention there's a whole big caravan and motorhome show. That's always really popular because I know people climb inside all the big motorhomes and have a look. But there's airlines, see Japanese airlines are there, Barbados Tourism, lots of people that you may not necessarily have thought of. You've got people like Camino Ways if you wanted to walk the Camino, campsites, camping in Girona, really not necessarily, it's not just your Spanish tourist board, your American tourism. It's not just the mainstream places that we would think of. There's lots of places that you may not have necessarily thought of. There's a whole section on Washington, which is where I was recently, absolutely loved it. And then you've got different hotels. You've got some actual hotels are exhibiting, Irish hotels and campsites from abroad. As well. So there's a big selection there.
For example, we have a flight now, I would never have thought a few years ago, we have 4 flights a week to Cairo, to Egypt, direct from Dublin with Egypt Air. And I'm looking at that as well, Trina. I'm going to do the Valley of the Kings and the Queens, Cairo. I've never done the actual pyramids properly. So again, I want to try and have a look at that, do the cruise down the Nile to the Aswan Dam, Abu Simbel. So it's lovely to actually be able to sit down and chat to them when they're actually there in front of you. Because, that's a tour that you really want an expert advice on. You wouldn't really do it yourself. And then all the other, Visit Belfast, and all the Northern Ireland crowd are down for it as well. Belfast just announced a new amazing festival from March to September. The council are putting £9 million into it. So they've huge plans up there as well. So only up the road. If you don't fancy flying off to any exotic destinations, of course, always a lovely little trip.
Now, can I ask you, if you book on the day, is there like any kind of benefit, or can you book on the day and maybe get a bit of a deal, good deal?
There's definitely a variety. As I said, there's the likes of tourist boards, which are just there to give information. But you may find on some of the tourism stands, there may be a travel agent linked to it, or maybe have one person there. Cruising is a big thing for that. So you may have like Princess Cruise stand, for instance, and then you may have a travel agent there who can take bookings and will give discounts on the day. If you go to a travel agent, you probably will. There probably will be some discounts, but it depends on what you're actually looking for. Another thing as well that's important to note is a lot of the new routes, so like Denver and Colorado, for instance, is a big new route this year for Ireland. There'll be a whole section, there'll be people there to advise you on things to do in Denver. As I said, it's the first time that there's a flight there, a direct flight service. So, so that kind of thing. If you wanted to go somewhere new that we haven't done before, that's where the holiday world really, really is great for.
Would you say, actually, Sarah, to ask for a discount, to be a bit cheeky about it?
Absolutely, sure. If you don't ask, you don't get. Yeah, I always ask. The travel agents will love me for that now. But no, to be fair, I think it's pretty par for the course now. I think at this stage, if you're there, you usually get some deal. And sometimes it's not necessarily, there might be a set, they may have special offers for the show. So they may have like €100 off if you book today, or a cruise company will give a discount for exhibiting at the show, because it's not cheap to buy those stands and exhibit. So they usually will get some sort of deal there if they're promoting. So that's pretty standard, yeah.
Yeah, because what's interesting, exactly what Sarah's saying there, when you go around and you get all the information from the tourist boards, I see there on the holidayworldshow.com, by the way, if anyone wants to check out the exhibitors, they'll see all the exhibitors are on there. I see Click and Go are doing a €1 deposit at the show, and I think
you wouldn't buy coffee for that.
Yeah, so no, you wouldn't. But it's that's one of their things that they do all the time anyway. But so you could go and you could check out Greece or Croatia. Croatia tours are there as well. So you can book with them, and they're doing kind of like low deposits, so that's it. So I just noticed that was one that jumped out at me there now. So yeah, you could, if you had a fiver, you could get a coffee and book a holiday, Trina.
Don't be so silly. You can't buy a coffee for a fiver in Ballsbridge. That's ridiculous.
No, I know. No milk.
So last year we had 24 new routes. What are we looking at now this year?
Very exciting, Trina. We have Aer Lingus flying to Denver, direct Colorado. Wow. We have Minneapolis, St. Paul coming up. Loads of it from Dalaman in Turkey, Croatia, new routes, Crete is a new route. So there's loads. In fact, Sarah has it up on her website as well, loads of the new stuff there. But Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, kind of Fargo land, right? You're talking about the malls of America.
Yeah.
Opening up amazing new stuff. Denver, Colorado, one of the best places you could ever go to in America. Boulder, Grand Rapids, like wow factor stuff. Again, the Denver Rockies, a brilliant place.
The problem with having you guys in is you confuse people, because they decide they're going to one place, and then you're mentioning all these other ones that are like amazing.
Yeah. Catania, by the way, Sicily. We were low on flights to Sicily. Brilliant to see Catania back again. Sicily's nearly the size of Ireland, but it's an absolutely stunning destination. And we have JetBlue flying with now. You've new routes as well coming on, Boston and New York with JetBlue. So that's interesting as well. So
yeah, actually amazing. New York in March they're starting. Yeah, and we're giving away a holiday.
Yeah, fantastic. 14th of March, 2 dates, right in time for St. Patrick's. So you can see, when I said Catania, do they remember the White Lotus? That's White Lotus territory, Taormina, like wow factor stuff. We could do another great programme on that destination. We'd have a look at that. But that made the island, set jetting, Trina, like that they got massive tourism into Sicily after that. Herculean in Crete, as you know, Sarah, a place that you love, Greece, amazing as well. And Dalaman in Turkey is going to be a great one, because that is a beautiful part of the south of Turkey.
Yeah, and there's actually Ryanair and Aer Lingus both competing now for Dalaman, so the prices should be good there if you're looking for a bargain. And Aer Lingus going to Heraclean and Crete, which is great, because Ryanair go to the other side, to Hania. So you've got both sides of the island covered there. They're all pretty much from Dublin, I think, but there's some nice new routes from Cork. First time ever from Cork to Greece. Rhodes, a direct flight to Rhodes for the first time, so that's really good news. And Zadar in Croatia. And then Shannon still, we're hoping they may announce something. There is a new Delta flight to New York from Shannon. And then with Knock, you've got the continuation of the Tenerife flight that started in the winter. That's going right through the summer as well. But the big news actually this year is Belfast. Huge amount of new routes from Belfast. So for anybody living kind of North Dublin, Louth, or, just I suppose the Midlands, there's a lot of new places up there. The tour operator Travel Solutions have put on a lot of charter flights from Belfast City Airport. You've got like Menorca, Salou, Lisbon, Venice. And then Jet2 have new routes to Bodrum and Malta. EasyJet and TUI to Larnaca and Tunisia. So huge amount of new routes from Belfast, more so than anywhere else. So I suppose they're kind of more sun holiday destinations. So if people are living and Belfast suits them, or if you're finding it hard to get a bargain, maybe check that out as well.
We mentioned last week, Trina, of course, we were talking about WestJet to Calgary. They also fly to Toronto from the 1st of March, and they're flying to Halifax from the 19th of June as well as Calgary. So amazing stuff into Canada as well. So it's just, it's amazing. There'll be nobody left on the island at all, Sarah.
We're all off.
Gone. Speaking of gone, I better let you go.
Yeah, time to go and spend a fortune on the coffee.
Thanks, Trina.
There they are, off to the holiday show at the RDS, Sarah Slattery and Ed Finn.
Travel Saturday with Sarah and Ed with Canadian Sky. Fly to the heart of the Canadian Rockies, direct from Dublin to Calgary, and experience spectacular scenery and vibrant cities. Discover Canada in 2024 with CanadianSky.ie.